This is a video from WDAY news station in Matson, North Dakota.
Oh yeah,
chiropractor. Matt, did you ever go to this guy?
No, I'm not a fan of chiropractic.
We were talking before the show a bit of snake oil by some chiropractors. Not all.
Let's not prejudge. I mean, we'll see this video if there's maybe some evidence of that.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't go to anywhere where anybody. I allow anybody to manipulate my body in any fashion whatsoever. But here
you don't like being touched.
That's true. Here is from the Grand Forks Herald, Daniel Poznarski. This is from August 23rd.
Fargo chiropractor who uses YouTube and social media to talk about health and wellness is tonight still battling the impacts from a hard-hitting COVID diagnosis just weeks ago.
It landed him in Sanford's downtown COVID unit for days, and it prompted him to backpedal on some of his recent claims that were critical of the vaccine. His story tonight from WDAY News reporter Kevin Wallivan.
Yeah, it seems like the lungs and the brain are the big thing because,
Dr. Daniel Poznarski is still feeling like he's been hit by a truck.
Almost like a TBI, like a traumatic brain injury or a concussion.
The longtime chiropractor from West Fargo, recovering from a COVID diagnosis in late July.
Because, you're trying to survive for a week or however long it is, so you're just in that state.
He's still suffering after effects.
That's what's so frustrating. It's just, it's just like these little things that you could do before you can't.
It was late July. Daniel had a sinus infection, but then soon a fever, and then a trip to Sanford.
I asked the provider, I was like, so do people come out of COVID unit? I'm like,
and soon the downtown COVID unit.
I kept asking the nurses, I was like, am I going to be okay? And they're like, we're not supposed to tell you.
While hospitalized, Daniel sent out social media messages asking people to pray for him.
I felt dying. I felt like I was dying, and I've never felt that before.
And then this comment that sparked a lot of reaction. Karma's a bitch, he wrote. I should have gotten the vaccine. This after other posts from him that were critical of vaccinations.
I'm not saying vaccines are bad or anything like that. There's not enough data yet.
Daniel was hospitalized 7 days, but despite being home for weeks now, he's too worn out to work or take care of daily chores, and he's lost 25 pounds. That's life after COVID right now.
But I can't, I can't go through that again. I feel like I would die.
His chiropractic business still not open, and friends have started a GoFundMe site to help him get back on his feet. Kevin Wallivan, WDAY News.
It's impossible to know whether or not this guy apologized, right? I mean, look,
Well, he just said I should have got the vaccine.
I should have got the vaccine,
yeah.
But maybe also I apologize for telling other people that I shouldn't have gotten the vaccine.
I apologize for having a profile picture that says "Make immune systems great again."
Yeah.
Just in the past couple of days, Mark Bernier, he was a Florida right-wing radio host. Mr. Anti-vaxx is how he promoted himself. Passed away, age 65 of COVID. What's the guy's name? Dick Farrell in Florida?
Dick Farrell and Phil Valentine.
From Nashville. Other right-wing radio hosts who basically talking about COVID as if it was a joke.
How is it that we can be so concerned about the uncertainty over the vaccine and be not at all concerned about uncertainty over this brand new disease that's causing a pandemic?
In fact, there's a little bit more certainty around the COVID.
Well, also, I mean, there's more certainty around it, but there's also this strain of evangelical conservative that believes let's just let nature take its course as it's what God intended.
There are multiple sort of cohorts of people who have not gotten vaccinated. There is one cohort of people who have not gotten vaccinated because they can't take off work because of the potential side effects. It lays you up for a day in many cases. They're worried about that. They don't have the freedom to do that. And then there are people who are just willful about it. And there are other people who I think are also just like, they're willfully ignorant. And there's other people who are just ignorant.
Yeah.
And because they get their information from Facebook. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And these other people, the part about it for the reason why I talk about the radio hosts and the chiropractors putting this stuff up on Facebook is because, look, you decide not to get vaccinated. I disagree with that decision. You are you're wrong, and you're harming society. But if you're out there promoting this stuff, you're just despicable.
You're an evil person, right? But and I will say too, there is this
for profit.
Yeah, there is a third cohort of people who I don't think are actually, one, they can take off work, I think, and two, not anti-vax inherently, but haven't yet been affected by COVID in the same way and aren't going to be proactive about it because we live in a, as Mark Allenderry said, a me society, one that like saps public health of its collective meaning, which is an active project by the Republicans and conservatives, and basically say, like, it hasn't affected me yet. I'm fine. I've been fine up to this point. I'm not going to get the vaccine. Like, that's kind of a problem and something that's going to be solved by other people. I think that is a significant third cohort and like a harder thing to reckon
Free rider.
It's a harder thing to reckon with than these are the people the Republican Party and evangelical churches have converted. There are people who don't have the means to get the vaccine, which I think is shrinking. Like, there is that third chunk. That's where I feel more depressed as like a society than anything, because those are the people that are gonna get it and then have that reaction.
Right.
And they're not inherently bad people. They're just not conscious citizens. And like, what kind of society are we that we breed that? And like, we're a dog eat dog capitalist society healthcare, and we've made healthcare commodity. We've made healthcare. But it's also
the classic libertarian thing. Like, what is good for me personally is ultimate. If everybody acts in their own self-interest, I
think it's
society.
Inherently American because of what we've done with healthcare in this country.
There's vaccine hesitancy in other countries too, but I don't know if it's the same. You're right.
No, I mean there's marches through French streets about vaccine mandates and like in businesses. I understand that, but there is something there is something about the commodification of healthcare that I do think kind of hits at this like sapping of the collective nature of how to respond to a pandemic.
Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.